everyone, Laura here from Living Water Fibers and Alpacas. I'm back with another video and that also has to do again with our With Love Fair Isle mittens. So I am in the pattern chart right now, so you can start to see there's a little bit of an O and there's the bottom half of an X, and these mittens are really cute because they create in the body of the mitten this hugs and kisses, the X and O's pattern. It's really cute and it's a really simple design that gets you used to working with Fair Isle stitches if you aren't familiar with them. So I really encourage you to check out. I have a link to this pattern. It's a free pattern on our website that you can download. So I really encourage you to check it out. The link to it will be down in the comments below. So anyways, while I was making this pattern, I really wanted to make sure that the edges, because I do all of my work in a magic loop, and when I was testing these, every once in a while my edges would come out funky. So I really encourage you to, in the pattern, to trap your secondary color yarn. In this case mine is red, at the beginnings of each of your new rounds. This really helps to prevent puckering on the edges and making it feel funky and just not looking and fitting how they should. So I wanted to show you how I trap my yarn at the beginning of my rounds. So let's get into it. I am knitting with a red and a white. I wanted to do kind of Valentine's. So I'm sticking with red and white. Obviously your colors might be a little different. But when I do this, I do my Fair Isle in a combo style. So my my secondary color I do off to the left, and my main color I hold off to the right. So this might look a little different for you just in how you're holding your yarn, but the premise of it is the same. So I want to trap my secondary color yarn, which is my red one. So to do that, I am going to start knitting. I'm going to put my needle in the first stitch here, and then I'm going to take my my secondary color, my red, and I'm going to throw it around my my right hand needle. So from the back to the front, I'm going to throw it over. Now I'm going to take my my main color, my white in this case, and I'm going to just throw it like I'm going to knit. Okay, now I'm going to take my red off the same way it came. So it's coming off, and then I knit the stitch, and I pull it a little snug. So what that does is in the back, if you can see here, that red is going to be trapped by this white as we start to knit. So let me get that back over here, and I'll knit a couple of stitches so you can see. So if I didn't do this, my red would have to travel all the way around till I got to my next set of red stitches up here. And if my tension was a little off, it would make for really weird puckering. Your fingers might get caught in it, a whole host of things. And it just doesn't knit up well. So here I am, I'm just going, and I'll do another video on how I do my Fair Isle knitting. But for now, I just wanted to show you how I trap my secondary colors so that I don't get weird floats. And I'll show you that again here. You can do this type of trapping anywhere along your knitting. I usually don't bother for this pattern because my floats, my yarn is small enough, and my stitches are close enough that I don't worry about it too much. You want to do it about every inch of your knitting. And this comes out to just about an inch as I knit. If you feel that you need to trap your floats more, by all means go for it. But let me show you that again. So if I wanted to do, let me do a couple of stitches here with my white. So if I wanted to trap that float again, so if I wanted to trap my red yarn as I'm going to insert my my needle as if to knit. I'm going to take and I'll do it as if, if you're a thrower. So I would go from the back to the, back to the front. Okay, so that yarn, let me do it again. So you're taking your yarn and you're going over your needle towards the back. You would then take your main color, just as if you're gonna knit. So around, okay? And then you're gonna take your secondary color and you're gonna take it off the same way you went. So now it's off to the back and I can do that knit stitch. Okay, let's do it. We'll do it one more time. We'll just do it right back to back. Okay, so I'm going down and around. Oops, sorry, wrong way. Up and over. This one is if to knit. Taking that back off. So now it's just kind of hanging there and knitting. So when I turn it over, you can see on this one that we just did that the white yarn is trapping the red back here. You can't see it in the front, but it's just trapped back there so that you don't have these really weird floats. So that's how I trap my yarn. I hope that makes sense. And how I do it. I'm sure there's 1.5 million ways on how to do it. That's just how I like to do it. But again, for this pattern, I really do recommend that you trap your floats at the beginning of each round so that your secondary color doesn't have really huge gaps here at the edge. So that's my little tip for today on working floats in your Fair Isle knitting. I hope that was a good explanation for that. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below and I'd love to help you out. Happy knitting. We'll see you soon.